All right, what's going on, guys? I think we're recording there. Welcome to the boardroom event. Today we're going to be talking about Facebook advertising in 2017. A lot of things have changed over the years. These paid platforms, advertising platforms, are always looking to improve their system, looking to create a better experience for their audience and for their users. Now, we're marketers, we come in advertisers, we really are the bane of all these platforms' existence. Like counting Facebook and social media platforms and all that, because we come in and we ruin it. We're there marketing, we're trying to break the system and work the system so that we can get the best clicks and get all the people on that platform to go where we want them to instead of where they want to go. So that's really what's going on, and it's always updating. The system's always updating so that it can avoid those things. That's why you see these big Google updates that happen over the years where it shuts down so many people's system on how they're generating money and revenue with their business, all the slaps or whatever they call them. And this is because they're always trying to work the system, and they're always trying to figure it out and be one step ahead of the game, when really all you need to do with these platforms these days, social media especially, is give your audience what they want, and they're going to reward you instead of penalize you. You know, I've always had great success through years. Even when I wasn't very successful as an entrepreneur, my search engine optimization and the rankings I had before all the slaps and the changes happened, they always kind of stayed the same, and even had sometimes moved up in rankings. And that's because I always followed this model of deliver quality content, know the system, know the algorithm, know the formula behind Google and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, what really they care about and what matters to them for their algorithm, but also understand that the platforms are they want you to deliver what's best for their user. So as long as you have the user, your audience in mind, then you're going to come out on top. And that's really the principle you want to follow for all business. But it's going to be very effective with your social media, with your Facebook advertising, Google, whatever it may be. So that's always the changes we're making, and the platforms, the changes they're making, that's the direction they're heading in. So as long as you're always delivering quality content, you're going to be on the upper side of that. But you also, like I said, want to know the algorithms and the strategies that are going on. So that's what we're going to really talk about today in this webinar. We're going to be first off jumping into kind of where I started with Facebook advertising back in 2014, 2013 even is kind of when it first started. And then just kind of go through the strategies that were being used by me throughout the years we were having success as we were growing our e-com stores. Then we're going to dive into really what's going on in 2017 here, what I'm focusing on, what matters to our strategy, and what you can kind of take away for your strategy as well. Hopefully that'll help you. And then we're going to dive into the 3 phases of the Facebook advertising I'm doing here in 2017, where we're going to be showing you kind of how I take a product from just testing what's going to work to creating a foundation to scaling to 10, 5 figures, 6 figures in sales for even a single product that really is a winner. So that's really what we're going to go through here. How's that sound, guys? Are you excited for that? You're going to like that stuff? Go ahead and type a yes in there. I'm going to try and get you guys engaged throughout this as well, just so that you're not sitting around or whatever, just bored listening. Oh, good, awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into 2014 strategies. This is really when I started into the e-com world. It was December 2014 is when I started doing t-shirts on Teespring, and I launched my first one there. It was a bowl game coming up. Auburn was playing someone, and I launched a t-shirt. I think we played Alabama, and it was like that last second kickoff return, we won the game. So there's a lot of hot phrases and viral phrases going on, and that's what we used as the first t-shirt that launched pretty much the whole t-shirt craze for us and got us into e-com. Now before this, 2013, probably even 2012 there, I was advertising randomly, nothing serious, wasn't putting much effort into Facebook advertising, had my personal Travis Patel ad account banned, still don't know why. I did curse out the the Facebook rep or whatever that I talked to because it was ridiculous, I thought, and that definitely got me shut down for life almost there. It wasn't until 3-4 years later there, I guess 3 years later, that just randomly the account got opened back up. But anyways, 2014, our strategies back then were really just the phase one that I'm going to be talking about here later, and we were just constantly looking for new designs out there, constantly launching new shirts, looking for new niches. You know, one of the big strategies I love to use when t-shirts really got popular, and I still use it today, is if you find a phrase that is kind of universal across multiple niches, the more niches the better. Even a dialed group of niches works very well. But if you find a phrase that works well, then you can rinse and repeat it over thousands of niches, and you just kind of have a testing system where you're throwing a lot on the wall. You know, back then we were doing PPE ads, page post engagement ads, were our best option. Actually, right there before that, CTW ads were one of the best. So CTW to PPE ads back in 2014 is what we did. We did a $25 a day budget PPE ad. You're looking for engagements to hit about 10 cents per engagement. It was about as high as you wanted to be. If you could go below that, then 5 cents and below, you're really cooking. Those are really the good winners you can work with. Now, we were using those phrases, as you can see here in the picture I'm sharing, farm standards, trucker standard. Those are the same phrase used for two different types of niches, where I think it was something about farmer wives and trucker wives having the standards. If your standards weren't this high, then or if your standards are, I can't remember what it was, but the whole premise was if you're married to a farmer, you have high standards. And then we could use that with truckers, we use that with coal miners, we use that with welders, all the professions out there. You can see welder standards, miner standard. Then you can see wrestling education, swimmer education. So I think that was something like, I can't remember exactly, but it was a funny phrase. But anyways, we were reusing these designs and really just doing these single PPE ads where we were diving in, really going as dialed as possible. We were really breaking down into the groups of the main groups that we consider buyer interest groups. So it'd be like people who are interests that are other brands, so people who like other brands in your niche, other companies in your niche that sell similar things or related items, or things that people would use and like in that industry, magazine groups and publications, associations and groups. You've got minor, B-list celebrities in the niche, so you're not looking for those A-list celebrities that pretty much the whole broad traffic would like, but we were going for those B-list celebrities. So a rodeo, for example, would have certain rodeo stars that only rodeo fanatics would like. NASCAR would have kind of a similar thing where you can think of maybe Jeff Gordon would be an A-list celebrity in NASCAR, but I don't know NASCAR at all. So someone who I don't know, but you all who like NASCAR would know, that would be a B-list that more targets in your audience. That was really the strategy then, was using PP ads. Now with page post engagement ads, the whole thing is getting engagement, getting shares, getting comments, getting likes, and the sales start coming in from the engagement that happens. You're going to get some direct sales maybe happening, but really the engagement happens is where it brings in the sales. Now, our scaling strategy here was just doubling budgets. Whenever we had success, we'd start $25 a day. If after the first day we made 2-3 sales, we were making about $10 profit per sale. So if we made 3 sales in day 1, we'd bump it to 50. If we made 6 sales in day 2, bump it to 100, and just kind of continue doing that. There was no strategy at this point. I was not very invested in my mind in Facebook advertising, and really didn't get too big into the advanced strategies for years to come. I love this, just kind of throw a lot on the wall system, test a lot of different niches and a lot of pockets and groups of advertising out, and then whatever works for me on this single product, roll with it. And then we won't leave it out for later tests, the things that don't work, but we keep track of what is really kind of consistent. And at this point in 2014 and leading into 2015, these pocket interest groups really were working for us very well. And at this time, again, we were trying to find our footing. I had opened or I guess that was coming in 2015 here, April 2015. We had for about 3-4 months, 5 months there. I had launched t-shirts on Teespring, done very well. Continued to do that through 2015, but opened the Shopify store, moved all that over there to have a little bit more control, make a little bit better margins and all that. And we opened 19th, which is our apparel store, still with what I show you guys in Kingpinning all the time. Examples of our work and case studies and whatnot. So we're going to go through a lot of stuff here as well. So this is when 2015 is when really the $5 a day budgets were starting to become popular. Now, like I said, in 2014, leading up into about mid-year 2015, page post engagement ads at $25 a day were working. But now things, again, the algorithm changes, things switch up. The website conversion ads started to take precedence. And what you can kind of think about what's happening here is 2014, Facebook advertising was very early. They were still developing all their kind of principles. Things were working for the years there. But this is when they started really kind of counting and getting their data collection together. This is when the pixel started becoming very popular. All those little features look like audience are starting to kind of roll into play and all that kind of stuff. So data is becoming very important. Website conversions, thinking about when you're doing advertising over the years, I have a strategy of using all types of ads. So I'm saying in 2014, the page post engagement ads was our prime target. That's what we use most. And now we're using website conversion. But now in 2017, I'm using the whole assortment. Website conversion may still be converting and being the best kind of overall for us, but we use page post engagement, we use click to website, we use video views, we're using a whole assortment, and we're doing that throughout the whole thing here. But just keep in mind, this is kind of what our overall starting strategy with all our campaigns are. So this is when the $5 a day budgets was really kind of taking off. At this point, it was just kind of creating lots and lots of ad sets because scaling was a slow process. You did kind of a slow bump on your ads when you're doing this. And when you start at $5 a day, kind of the rule of thumb always was to bump. We were doing doubling there in 2014. 2015 at $5 a day, we were only bumping like 10, 15, or 15, 20% every 3 or 4 days. Again, we needed data. So with $5 a day, we need to let each ad set run 3, 4, 5 days so that it spent $20, $25 and gave us a clue. Is this worth pursuing? So really with 19th and the general store and giving you kind of an insight of how my mind was working at the time and why I chose this strategy I did, we were looking for as many winning niches as I could possibly find. In December 2014, we had some success there with the cow niche, with using that rebrandable phrase strategy. Cows make me happy, you not so much. That phrase right there kind of took us off, where goats make me happy, pigs make me happy, chicken makes me happy. That's where we found the farm animal niche. And in 2015 here, we were launching a lot on 19th, the farm animal products. And we were doing much more than just t-shirts. We jumped into print-on-demand products and all that good stuff. You can kind of see the results here on the right side of what we were doing that year. This was 2015 when we started the store again, remember, in April. And you can see kind of the peaks that are going on there. They gave us kind of what we focused on in later years. This was our first year with a general store. Again, find as many niches as possible. So we were launching consistent products, 5 to 10 products per day, when we were doing maybe 5 to 10 products per week in 2014 and the early 2015. But here when we launched the store, I was looking for as many new markets as we could possibly find because it was just kind of a rinse and repeat model. I did not really focus my time on advanced Facebook strategies. I understood what was going on and what was happening, but I didn't dive into the intricate, like I'm not a math genius type of thing like a Thomas Bartkey or something like that. So I wasn't that interested in it. My rinse and repeat, throw a bunch on the wall, follow Pareto's law of an 80-20 rule, that was working for me. So for each product I launched, out of those 5 or 10 products, I would start up 2 to 4, typically 4 website conversion ads. And these were all $5 a day budget ads, and they were each targeting different interest groups. At this time, we weren't really concerned with audience overlap. That wasn't something that was popping up yet. We were duplicating many times over. Typically, what I would do with those 2 to 4 starting website conversion ads was pretty much testing different pockets of the targeting out there. So we might have one that's a very broad interest like cattle, and we might have another ad set that's dialed into all the magazines of beef farmers. Then you might have another ad set that's dialed into just the cow fanatics and people who like all the general random I love cows type of interest. Then you might have another one that's all of the companies that are part of cattle farming or rodeos or whatever it may be. So we were testing 4 different angles to see what kind of picks up for us at $5 a day. So for each of those 5 or 10 products, we had about $20 a day going for each of them. That's looking, $100 to $200 ad spend added per day. But again, it's 80-20 rule, where a lot of these might fail after you spend $20, $25. You look at, is it making money? Is it not making money? And then you see, you can make adjustments, you can shut it down, you can scale. That was really our system there. And again, we were doing print on demand and drop shipping. So if you look at the stats on the right, you can see kind of our top products. We did the cow print high knee socks. That kind of led us into the sock store that I ended up opening in the end of 2015. And created that into the reoccurring sock box. And that was really the opening start to what I'm doing a lot now in 2017 with reoccurring boxes. So this was the beginning of that mentality. And again, like I said, the peaks there really give you an indication of what we did and what I learned this year, because you have there our first start April. You can see it's kind of a slow start, making maybe $200 to $500 a day. Then around you're looking probably May there through June, we had a big peak there, hitting $1,000, maybe $2,000 a day. That is when I discovered the graduation niche. We had a Dobby shirt that was a graduation, what's that niche? Harry Potter shirt that was graduation based. And this was at the time when we were much more who gave a shit about trademark stuff and didn't really even understand it until at the end of the year here, when we was like, oh yeah, well, you can't do that. So this was the time we were just kind of testing everything out, like I said. So we had success here with a Harry Potter graduation shirt. Now that led to what we do every year now. Every year I have a graduation store, and throughout the months of March through June, we make all our money. That's when I make all my money in graduation. We have a certain spurt in December or August whenever we have the other maybe college graduations going on. But our biggest selling time is high school graduation period, when everyone's buying gifts and such during that period. And this year alone, we cleared a solid high 6 figures off this season. And last year we did the same. We didn't do that much in revenue, but we focused on it and created a huge amount of money from it. Second peak here, we started doing what we have here. It looks like the second peak, and just kind of a little bit. I think that's when I discovered kind of drop shipping, and we started doing random products, a huge assortment of cow products and pig products, where we had signs and we had toilet paper wrappers, and we had wall stickers, and we had all this type of stuff. And then we also had the print on demand t-shirts that were going. So that's kind of when we've discovered drop shipping. Use that. And then September, that was the Halloween time when we discovered the onesies and the Halloween costumes. And then obviously we had the December rush. So that kind of led into what we were doing in 2016, 2017, where dropshipping obviously is part of it. Halloween, I've had a Halloween and costume store every year that crushes it during the September months and August. And then obviously we always prepare for December. So we want to look at your stats over a long term as well with everything you're doing. So back to our strategies here, some things that kind of popped up in 2015. We had the new pixel popping up, where before you had the old pixel, you could create individual pixel conversions for each product or niche or whatever you had. Lookalikes became a thing. Retargeting ads started to get to our strategy and were becoming very popular. So then we come into 2016. Again, I did not really focus too heavily on the advanced strategies, but we started to dive more into actually having a strategy, where in 2015, again, 2014, we just were throwing it on the wall. 2016, we started creating more of a back-end effect. We started creating scaling processes and really trying to make the most of our money from our ads. Now, this was really my first year I dove into those type of intricate pieces, and as you'll kind of see here as I explain it, 2016 was a horrible year for my business as far as the turnaround of what we did. We did really well when you look at it over the long run, but I was learning a lot, and I lost a lot of money in key areas that now in 2017 we've learned from with our strategies, and I'm saving a lot of money in areas that I lost, trying things out and things like that. So 2016, some key things that happened there. The $5 a day budget stopped being effective. This came from our own tests. This came from a lot of other friends in the markets that also do Facebook advertising on a high scale. They were starting to have less effectiveness for them as well. Not saying they weren't a good place for people to start. Newcomers who could only spend $5 a day, they still would give you an indication if you had a good winning product or not. They were a good way to test small pockets, but you had to get out of the $5 a day budgets as soon as possible, because Facebook, again, as they're evolving and trying to create a better user interface, they're becoming more and more reliant on data and that new pixel and all that. And really the best way to get data, and really the only way to get data with Facebook, is to spend money. So we had to up our costs, our budgets from 2015, from the $5 a day, and what we started doing was a minimum of $25 a day. Now, when we're looking back even this range is still not much difference. $25 a day is not much difference than $5 a day. That's still a low-end scale. But we were able to get more data coming in per day, because we were realizing we had to have more pixel fires. We had to give, again, more data. So with Facebook advertising, data is pixel fires. And in this case, where in 2014, I already mentioned we were doing $25 a day. Well, we would decide in 24 hours in 2014 at $25 a day. After $25 spend, we would decide. Now in 2016, again, more data. So at $25 a day, we're following the same $5 a day strategy though. So we're letting this run another 3, 4, 5 days. We have to spend $100, $125 per product, per test, just before I have enough data and we have enough data coming in to really be able to make a decision. Now, there are certain circumstances where after the first $10, $15 you see, okay, this is bombing, no way it's going to come back, so just shut it off and move on. But in most cases, we're going to let it run $100, $125 a day. Now, again, this lets us scale much quicker, where the problem with $5 a day ads is that you had to create hundreds, if not thousands, of ad sets, breaking down each individual age, each individual interest, each individual thing out there, and then you couldn't really scale the budget much. You did more by duplicating, creating more ad sets. Now in 2015, we were back to the $25 a day mark, letting it run through. If you had success after those 4 or 5 days, then you could decide to bump, shut down, scale, whatever it is. And we were doing the same 20, 25, or 15 to 20% bump in budget every 4 days. So that, again, is still kind of a slow process. Now in 2016, a big thing that kind of came rise is there was a Facebook webinar, an official webinar that I watched in like March of 2016 or something, maybe February, and that crafted my strategy for 2016, and really I feel like one of the reasons why I had a bad year, not because I didn't listen to them, but that I just followed their tone exactly. And really a lot of these, they're changing constantly, so you got to always be aware of that. So one big thing that happened there is no duplication of audience. They didn't want overlap of audience, which pretty much means And why I thought that is in this webinar, what they clearly said was they don't want to show a single user every ad they see. They don't want it to be from one advertiser. So in my mind, that makes complete sense, thinking about that principle of giving their user the best experience, is that they don't want, even if you have the best product, the most engagement going on, you're winning all the auctions on the bid, whatever it may be, they still don't want to have only your ads be shown to this one user. And like I said, that makes complete sense because they want it to be a variety. They want it to be not a monopoly of your ads and really only be your voice in a social media platform. So that is when we stop overlapping audiences completely. Now in 2017, as I'll explain in a little bit, our understanding of this overlap is a little different. We're getting a little bit more. At that point, I was trying to avoid overlapping at every cost, and I did. And it was good. It was okay, but it removed a lot of potential I had for scaling. It could have made a lot more money from my advertising if I didn't follow that so rigidly. And then at the end of 2016 we were really starting to apply our dynamic product ads, our DPAs. And these are a huge piece of our advertising strategy today. They're usually one of our best converting ads. They pretty much clean up all of your traffic. When you have a good producing dynamic product ad and you have good product lineup and you have good branding and you have good content, you're going to pretty much be able to send as much traffic as you want on the front end, if it's a PPE ad, if it's a WC ad, a CTW ad, and then the dynamic product ads are going to clean that traffic up and convert it with something that they're interested in. So that's something that once you have an established brand, an established name, and you've kind of built something with assets, then that's, it's an important piece, but that's what's going to allow you to have that kind of long-term success without the direct maybe ratio and relationship coming in for you on those front-end ads. So in 2016 or 2015, we really focused on creating or finding as many niches as possible and doing that kind of rinse, repeat, throw a lot on the wall system. 2016 was focused on actually building individual brands and stores around these niches we found. Like I showed you with the peaks there, we had found the cow products and the farmer niches, so that became a store. We found the graduation niche, so that became a store. We had found the socks, so that became a store. We had found the Halloween costumes, so that became a store. We had found a few other niches, a few other niches we had success with, and we still have success with: marching band, coal miners, turtles, elephants, goes down the line. These are all things that we found in 2015 just by launching t-shirts and random products. And 2016 is when we started creating rinse and repeat stores. I started building my team, and that's why I didn't get into the advanced strategies so much, because I was more around the mentality of building an empire and creating templated systems. And this is one of our templated systems you can see on the left side here, where we have round one is our testing. We started, again, we would start with 4 possible ad sets, where 2 would be PPE, 2 would be website conversion, and typically, the website conversion always kind of won out. There was a certain period when the PPE started working again for us in 2016, but it always really came down to website conversions. But what was working for us in 2016 was our dialed interest still, so those main groups I talked about earlier. We had a master niche audience, which I had another dialed group, which at that time this was for my employees, and that's what a file name for each of our main niches. Now the PPE side, I was going more broad because we're looking for engagement again. Again, when you're using all these ad types, think about the purpose of these ad types. Website conversion, those are going to convert. That's what they're made to do. They're made to convert on whatever you're optimizing towards. So if you're optimizing towards the view content, they are trying to convert people to click your link and go to your site. If you're optimizing towards the add to cart, they're looking to convert people to add that product to your cart. If they're looking for click the website, then they're looking for people to go through, click that website, page engagement, blah, blah, blah. So understand what each ad style is for and why I'm going for broader interests, why they're okay with the page post engagement at this time, because we're just looking for the engagement, and really the sales, the money, the revenue of this, the leads come from the shares. They come from the comments and the tags and the actual engagement going on there. So I can hit a broader, maybe not so directly converting audience that's going to bring in sales from all the action that's bringing in from their friends. Okay, so those potential 4 ad sets are started. We're waiting 3 to 4 days. It's going $25 a day. We're looking at ROI. Everyone's talking CPM, click-through cost, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The main thing we look at is it making money? Are you in a profit or are you not? If it's not in a profit, then look at those other stats, and that's going to give you an indication of what might be going on. That's a big, important thing here. It's not going to be a 100% telling factor every time, but it's going to be an indicator of what might be happening. You can see if you have a shirt design, for example, and people are engaging heavily with it, and they're wowing, and they're ha-haing, and they're liking, and they're loving, and they're saying, oh, this is so funny, but no one's going through and buying, then you might have a poor design. They might just love the phrase. They might just love the picture or what it represents, but it might not be a quality enough product for them. So that's something to think about. You might have people clicking through and not buying. Then you might have a shipping cost problem or a checkout problem. Or, these are all different indications going on. A high CPM or a high engagement cost on a PPE means it might not be a good enough product right away. So all these different stats going on, they're just indicators for you to kind of pay attention. Now, at the time, we had these ads going. I looked at the ROI. We had 2 different decisions here. If it was losing money or breaking even, we'd throw it into maintenance mode, where I'd throw a $1 a day click to website ad. Now, this is not something I do anymore. This was kind of in the transition period of going from $5 a day to $25 a day to 2017. Now we're spending much more money. Now in round 2, we're dialing in. We're bumping winners across our 15% rule. I have multiple interest groups we're trying out. And then this is when we introduce lookalikes. When we're doing lookalikes are very important to our strategy. Obviously, where you want to have as many lookalikes going as possible. Every lookalike counts as a new potential audience. Don't consider lookalikes better or worse than interest groups or anything like that. Just think of them as new audiences, more potential audiences. Even those very dialed interest groups may not have all the people that are going to buy your product. Maybe a whole different group that has nothing to do with that Facebook interest really likes your product. So we have a best estimate guess, but don't count out anything. Now, the same thing with these. After 3 or 4 days, apply the same to the winners, and then we get into round 3 when we start scaling. And this would just really create as many ad sets as possible that weren't overlapping. So we continued to bump our winners. Then I started adding broad interest to our website conversions. As you can see, broad interest came into play with website conversions ads late in the game with 2016. We were very focused on targeting very dialed groups of people, best estimate guesses again, and this is what was working for us there. Now in 2017, our strategies have changed quite a bit, and it kind of just led to Facebook changing, updating their system. You're going to see us putting just a few examples into play here in a second. Of our 3 phases, but pretty much our strategies here that have changed from 2000 to 2017 again comes into the play of data. The more data you're giving Facebook, the better off you're going to be. The more dialed data, the more focused data, the better off you're going to be. There in the late 2016, I kind of started playing with manual bidding. This was becoming very popular in 2016 there with the big guys who were doing huge numbers. And it showed huge potential for scaling. What we started to notice was our auto bidding ads kind of became at a cap when we were doing, we'll go back to this point. Higher budgets were more data. Again, that's what Facebook wanted. So we bumped up from our $25 a day to a $50 a day. Again, it's not really that huge of a bump where we were starting 2 years ago at $5 to $25. Now we're $50. $50 is our low with all our tests. in all our ad sets. Now that's only for auto bidding. Now with manual bidding, we're bumping our budgets to $1,000 a day or even higher, so like $5,000 a day. And we're not spending that much in a single day. If it's converting, we'll try to, but we are giving us the potential to work with that room. Now, the cool thing with manual bidding is you are manually bidding on the ad. So you're trying to win traffic, and you can control what your daily budget is without changing the budget by just changing the bid. And you'll see that in the case study I show you later. So that's kind of important. That's what you're kind of learning there. That's what we learned here in 2017. As you can see, now I kind of figured out the system. We have some base stores in place, some quality winners that are working outside of everything with our normal Facebook ads. I kind of decided let's dive into the intricate pieces, the more advanced strategies of Facebook advertising. That's what manual bidding kind of came into play. Now, another huge thing that came into play was focus funnels. I put a staple back-end product in place, something that's going to be every sale, every lead I come on the front end, they're going to be going to the same back-end product. Now, this gives us structure in our retargeting. It gives us a goal. It gives us an idea of where we're trying to lead every lead coming in. Because really what that happens when you're able to do that is you're able to, one, create really great conversions on this focused product, on this back-end product. Because it's one sales page, it's one product, it's one image, it's one buy system. So you can really improve each of those pieces and make sure that every lead coming in, a portion of them are going to buy this back-end product, giving you your actual profit. Now, this also allows you to look at the storefront and all your launches and the things that are working already for us. The Pareto's Law, 80-20 rule of throwing everything up and rolling with winning. It's allowing us to, if things go bad or if you hit a dip, because you will have little peaks and dips that happen with your stores and your advertising. If you hit a dip, you're still making money from that back end. It makes it where you can break even on the front end or even lose a little bit, and you're still creating a profit for your lifetime value of every customer coming to play. It also allows you a lot more wiggle room with your advertising. When we're putting these reoccurring, most of my funnels, my staple back-end products right now are reoccurring kind of box offers. So they come in, they buy those box offers, and instead of just, it's a $40, $50 to $50 a month box offer, instead of just being a $50 sale, as long as we deliver a good product, they'll be a member for 3, 6, 12 months. So that $50 sale all of a sudden becomes a $150 or $300 or $600 sale, because you have that reoccurring, that higher price, that staple product. So now we know, instead of having to trade off $50 spend for $50 in, $50 spend with one sale could mean $600 in. So we could spend a lot more on the front end, losing on the front end sale, but still knowing that we're going to create that lifetime value. And that's kind of important of knowing those focus funnels. Now we still have the same rinse repeat, Pareto's Law, t-shirts, print-on-demand system in play, testing all the time, always trying to find new markets, new storefronts to be able to produce, and it's always that rinse and repeat system. So that's the same thing we're doing with a lot of our advertising. It still has a lot of the template systems in place for the testing and the launching out there, but then on the back end, the scaling, the step to the phase 3, that's when the advanced stuff comes in. Now, always in the past, the more dialed targeting, the better. But this year, we're noticing broad targeting is working better for us. It might be because I wanted to focus more on broad targeting, because the more broad an audience that you can get to convert, the longer you're going to be able to use that audience to make money. Before we were going for those very dialed, buyer-friendly audiences, so they might be 50,000 in audience size, might be 200,000, 500,000 max. So you only have 500,000 people in that case, and you only have so long that you can use that audience before they're kind of burnt out on who you are and what you're selling and what that product is. So if you can get a 50 million audience to convert, then you have so much more wiggle room, and you instead create sales not just for 30 days, but now you're creating the same product sales for 6 months or 12 months down the road, getting this 50 million audience to convert. That's why lookalikes have become so important, and testing related audiences, and really broad targeting with the data in mind is why it's working best for us, because Facebook wants data. The more data you give it and let it do its thing, the better off you're going to be. We've even had success doing what they call untargeting, where we don't target any interest at all. We just target all of people on Facebook and let Facebook do its thing. Now this theoretically will work much better for you if you have some data on your pixel. You've been, the 19th advertising account, for example, has been around for 2-3 years, I guess since 2015 there, so coming up 2 years now. So it has some data there. It can kind of find pockets. Now that doesn't work every time. It doesn't work the majority of the time, honestly, just letting it work on itself. We still have to kind of focus in our targeting as much as we can. But we also have a lot of new ad accounts that are only 2-3 months old or 6 months at most, and still the broad targeting is working for us. Now, audience overlap this year, we've kind of changed our mind a little bit on it. We're okay with audience overlap. It's okay to double up. Now, you need to understand how Facebook does it, though, because they are automatically going to hide some things. Because, again, that same point, that same principle I brought up to you earlier, where Facebook doesn't want to show your company only, your account only to the same user over and over and over again without having a variety in there. So that's the way audience overlap is going. Audience overlap, if you have 2 duplicate ad sets going, it's not going to negatively affect the campaign as far as mean it's bad. It might just not show that ad campaign if you have another one that's really getting engaged with and all that audience is going. Now, we are targeting broad audiences again, so overlap doesn't happen as much. If you have a 50,000 audience and you have 5-10 ads doing that same audience, you're going to have a lot of overlap happening. But if you have a 50 million audience and you have 5-10 ads targeting that person, those same group, it's going to take longer for that overlap to happen, so you can kind of get away with it a little bit more. Now, they've recently come out with some statements saying that they will not show certain ad sets in a single campaign. So I've seen some big players lately, and we've been trying this out lately as well, where if we're going to duplicate the exact same ad set, the exact same targeting, then we'll create a whole new campaign with an ad set in that. So we're seeing that possibly it only judges and hides. Before it used to only be on the ad level. Now it's looking like it might be on the ad set level that they're looking at overlap. So we might be able to avoid that by separating by campaign level. So that's just kind of a test in theory right now. But just understand how audience overlap goes and why one ad set might not be showing anymore. It's because another ad set with the same audience you're targeting might be taking over the engagement, might be doing what better. So we're still targeting those dialed groups as much as possible, but seeing a lot more success lately with the broad targeting. So a cattle interest will work better than us dialing into the dairy farmers or something like that. Not saying that a good product won't have success everywhere, but it's just that the broad targeting is kind of our preferred method these days. And then lastly, we're doing a lot more with manual bidding. That's that outbids there. That's supposed to say auto bids. Auto bids are still a very consistent piece of our puzzle. They are the majority of my ads still. But what I've noticed over the past 6 months is my ads cap out. So you can only set the budget so high. We're starting at $50 a month on the auto bids. This is testing, finding out what's working for us, giving us an indicator if we should move to phase 2 and phase 3 of this product. And we do our bump system of 15% every 3-4 days. But then we're seeing that it's capping at about $100, $150 a day, depending on the size of the audience. The bigger audience, the higher you're going to be able to go. But still with an auto bid, it's capping at around $100, $150 a day. And that's really because Facebook on an auto bid, think about what they're doing. It's an auction going on with the traffic. So an auto bid is always trying to win that auction so that you're spending what you need to be spending in the day. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, it's trying to win that auction for that amount. So if you're at $100 a day, it's trying to spend, $8, $10 an hour, or I guess $4 or $5 an hour consistently throughout the day, and more in peak times, less in non-peak times. So it's winning out those auctions, even on the non-peak times. And even when maybe the traffic is not so high quality. So when you start getting your budget up to 200, 300, that less quality traffic coming in and winning auctions at those peak times is going to happen more and more. And you're going to be losing more and more, getting less and less conversions. So we're seeing we stop at about $100 a day on our auto bids. We do let them run consistently, but if we have it where we're stuck, we can't up our bids on auto bids anymore, that's when we start the manual bids. They get to the phase 2, phase 3. Now, manual bids, like I said, we're setting those budgets at maybe $1,000 a day, but with that auction system in mind, we're bidding on our conversions. So that doesn't mean that if you're bidding $35 per purchase that you're going to get $35 per purchase. All that means is that you're bidding on the auction for the potential to have that traffic. So if a competitor bids $40, then he's going to get that traffic, and then whatever that traffic does, whatever actions they take, that's going to actually determine the cost per conversion that you actually get. You're just looking, when it comes to manual bidding, you're just looking to win the auction and get traffic. And then you're kind of finding the sweet spot of what that broad targeting audience that you're using, which group of them is converting the best, and at what bid are they coming in, and we're weaving out those that are bad traffic. So that's how we're able to scale to much higher levels this year, while still controlling costs, because we're not stuck at that $100 a day budget. We can get it up to where we can get it to where we're spending the whole $1,000 a day on a manual bid if it's converting. Typically, I'm noticing that I'm trying to spend about 1/4 of my budget on a manual bid ad in a day. So if it's a $1,000 a day budget manual ad, I'm trying to spend about $250 that day. Now, if it's still converting at peak times, obviously we'll bump up. And then sometimes we have some ads we're doing $5,000 day budgets, and we're trying to spend $1,000 a day out of those. And that's when we're really having success with the product. So those are the key different strategies and mentalities going on in 2017. Now we're going to jump into the 3 phases that we're following here. I'll show you some examples of what we're doing. Phase 1 is our testing phase. That's really so kind of the same process, but again, we're going broader. We're going testing new niches all the time. We're going $50 a day ad sets. We're going paid website conversion ads. We're doing a lot of video lately. So you're going to see a little bit of that in phase 1. Phase 2, we're building the foundation. This is making it so that it's worth every penny when we're sending in our traffic. Every ad we come in, if it's converting well, or if it's converting, on the line, or even if it's losing a little bit, we make sure that the foundation is sweeping stuff up with our retargeting. We want to make sure our email stuff is in place and all those retargeting custom audiences, and then also thinking about the back end product. What is your staple product? And then phase 3, the scaling. This is really, we'll just talk about manual bidding and kind of how we're taking it from there. So let's go ahead and dive into that, guys, and jump into phase 1. All right, so phase 1, the testing phase, it's testing. So we have, over the years, as I kind of explained from 2014, 2015, 2016, the focus of what we start out with, what's working best for us, statistically has changed quite a bit. So you have to adapt with it. So I'm going to show you guys what's working for us statistically best, kind of a best estimate again to where we start our advertisements. Now, I'm going to talk about 2 different campaign styles here where, a lot of time where on our 19th store, we're always launching new products in brand new niches, things that we've not had success with, things that we're just kind of throwing up against the wall again and seeing what sticks. And we're pretty much just doing a best estimate as what the targeting should be, the product style. We don't understand the audience completely. We've done maybe some research or whatnot, try to get it best we can, but you really don't understand an audience until you've actually collected some of that audience. So today we're going to go through one example we're going to set up is in the cow niche. Now, we've had a lot of success over the past years in the cow niche and built assets for that. So that's something I want to talk about, building assets before you even start, just to kind of guarantee yourself a little bit better success. And then also we're going to launch some ads into a Christian collection, which is something I've not built any assets for. I've not advertised much before. Maybe I had a product here and there over the years, but nothing that's going to really give us any head start compared to the cow niche like you'll see. So you'll see how both those testing phases are pretty much similar, but you'll also see how the cow niche is going to produce results very quickly just because of all that engagement, and we're kind of just hoping for the best on where we start with a brand new niche on a blank slate type of idea. So keep that in mind. If you have an asset, you understand an audience, and you have that starting point, you're going to have a little bit better success ratio because you're going to have the natural organic engagement. You're going to have people that buy the product without needing even paid advertisement in place. All of those type of effects going into play. And that's why it's very important to kind of grow those assets and really try and find that niche you want to focus on as soon as possible. If you're just starting out, just randomly looking for 5 to 10 new niches a day like I was on 19th when first starting, then you're just going to have to throw a bunch on the wall again. But you can see the cows are awesome. This is our fan page. You've probably seen us use this one quite a bit. This right here gives us a huge advantage with our advertisements, because what we're going to be able to do is we're going to post our ad here. Now we use Gear Bubble to create these it's a new product type they just launched, engraved necklaces. So these are pretty cool little necklaces because you can get them in silver and gold, and they give us a really high profit or value, perceived value. And I think it's only costing us something around like $10 for these. Let's see. They added them on here yet. Okay. Yeah, $10, $9.95, and then $4.95 shipping. That's $5.99 shipping if it's going to be international. So we're looking at $15 cost on these, and this is the 18-karat gold plated round necklace that we can engrave any type of message on, like a t-shirt or anything like that. So it gives us a lot of perceived value. I'm pricing this right now at $39.95 and charging $4.95. So that is going to be $30 profit margin. Now we'll see how well that profit margin does. I'm thinking maybe for the stainless steel one here, I might bring this down to 34 or even 29 to kind of give myself a price range test. So $20 for that one, $30 for that one. Let's save that in. You can see here now on Gear Bubble here, a cool thing is you can create just kind of a simple basic ad image. Now what I like to start off with our ads, with our testing, we keep it very basic. If we can create a quick video, we might throw that in there, but in most cases it's going to be a simple product image, a shot of that product. If you have the product in stock at home, you can take a quality photo, real life photo. That works really well. If at worst case, you'll use something like what you see here, just a black square or a white square with the product. But here you can see, you go to the Gear Bubble ad photos. We'll be able to create a whole slew, and this is what we created here. Having that one there. So we have a whole selection. Get the grays too. But we're going to go with that gold, lead them in, and get a feel. Now that is phase one. We're going to really be testing different angles of the market out there. So I'm going to take this image. We're going to create a 1200 by 1200 graphic. Now again, this is pretty much what we do with every product to start out with. We get a feel for what's going on for the product, what's going on in each of the different audiences we want to test, and then we look at that data after the next couple of days and see how we're going to move forward. Now, how often you're going to test and what you're going to test is really up to you. We're launching a lot of new products all the time. Now, on our farm store here, we're not launching as many products as the 19th store, but we're still launching as many ads because we're trying different angles, we're trying different targeting, and it all starts in this phase 1 where we're testing it out. $50 a day, website conversion ad is where we start with this, and then you can try any other ad types you want, but $50 a day, let it roll through, and we'll see how it goes. So, let me go ahead and save this. Cow engraved necklace. Post it on our fan page. All right. So it's something very simple, basic, standard message, testing things out. Not really worried too much about the creative side as long as we have this clear 1200 by 1200 on this first test, and the copyright itself, keeping it very basic, standard. Hey, what an awesome product. Here's who's going to like it. Here's where to buy. Here's what also it comes in. So this is just, again, our testing phase. So this is going to tell us a lot of things. If the product works, if the audience is going to work, even just posting this on our asset we built, 236,000 likes, this is going to give us an indication if sales start to come here before I even start the ads, that's a good sign, that's a bad sign, and whatnot. And this testing phase is really just to give us an indication, do we move on to phase 2 with this product and with this marketing campaign and this angle. So we're going to go ahead and let's go. I would like to add some cow emoticons. Facebook emoticons. It's always, we've got an animal list. Oh, and they updated that. All right, so now typically you can start either the PPE ad, a page post engagement, which would be on the engagement, or a website conversion. I typically always start with a website conversion. Sometimes if I really like the product and I think it's going to do well and I want it to do well, then I'll start with a website conversion and a page post engagement, because you want to understand how Facebook works. What they're looking for in their advertisement is they're looking for engagement. They're looking for people to interact on that, and according to how people interact with your ad is how they're going to give you precedence in certain situations. So they might, if you're getting good engagement, positive action, if you have a relevancy score on your ads of like 10 or whatnot, you're getting the best cost on future traffic, on the reach and everything, the CPMs and all that that's going on. So Facebook favors you like that. So that's why a lot of times you'll see people do where we posted this post on our fan page, we're going to have all of our starting test ads go to this single fan page. And that's why sometimes it's good to have a website conversion and a page post engagement ad. Now, if I had a fan page that had 50 likes or 100 likes, where this one has 260 or 236,000 likes. So let's see, we posted this 2 minutes ago. We'll refresh it, see how much engagement this has. And it's an advertisement, so they usually don't have huge engagement compared to a picture post. But it already has 19 actions, a bunch of loves, someone tagged someone. So it might already have a sale as well. Who knows? But you can see what the asset does for us. This is already getting engagement, so Facebook's going to like that. Give our website conversion ad favor. Now, if you don't have an asset like this and your fan page is very small, then sometimes it is a very good idea to also have a page post engagement ad going with you. And that's kind of how we'll probably start the Christian necklaces that we're putting in place, that case study. So let's go ahead and we're going to create a website conversion ad here. campaign name, I like to call it, keep it product separated, cow and calf engraved necklace. And each campaign style needs to be separated by style, so only website conversion ads can be in this campaign. Split tests, I don't do those. I do split tests on my own, so I like it to overlap sometimes. All right, we've updated this. Use the best event sources. Use the same thing. Use settings. No, cancel. Don't need that. All right, so website conversion. You can choose what type of optimization you want to select. I usually go for purchase. Again, even if I have a brand new store and a brand new pixel, purchase is typically what I just start with. It theoretically, and according to all the rules that the big guys say, it's not really what you're supposed to do, because how the theory works of what's going on here is you're choosing the optimization type on a website conversion ad. So if I chose purchases here, what I'm telling Facebook is I want them to optimize this ad to make that purchase event happen more. Now, obviously, you kind of think in your head, well, duh, that's what I want to select every time. But Facebook's not going to be able to optimize for that event if you're not sending it enough data. So later on in the ad creation process, you're seeing this conversion window. Now, what you can select is 7-day click, 1-day click, 1-day click or view, so pretty much a 1-day or a 7-day are the optimization periods. And what that's telling Facebook, what you're telling them there is how long of a period Facebook should look at to hit enough of that optimization type pixel event fire. So what the number is everyone always throws out is that you want to hit 25 event fires that you're optimizing towards in your conversion window. So if I choose 7 days click and a purchase optimization, then I need to have at least 25 purchase conversions firing on Facebook in the 7-day period. Okay, if I chose 1 day, then I'm telling Facebook that we should be getting 25 purchase fires a day. And that's how it'll optimize. Now, that's why a lot of times some people will say, well, let's start off instead of a purchase if we have no traffic or not. You're not getting purchases. You're not getting 25 purchases a day, or you're not getting 25 purchases a week on an ad. Then maybe go to add to cart and then view content. And that is the theoretical way of going about it. Now, the reason why I kind of choose purchase every time is that I'm spending bigger budgets and I'm trying to get enough pixel fires. If I'm not getting 25 pixel purchase event fires in a week, then that really is not an ad for me. I don't really care about having to go through the process of starting add to cart, optimizing that, getting to the purchases. Now, if it works, we test it out, of course, but I always start my test with purchase. Like I said, and nothing is off the table. Keep that in mind. This is just where our best estimate start is. And then from there, you can do what you want. Test add to cart after this. Test view content optimization. Test a 7-day click ratio instead of the 1 day. Whatever it may be. All right, so we're going website conversion. All right, so now custom audience, we can select there. We're not going to do that here. A good place to start always, if you have an asset, again with the cows, what we could do is we could do a lookalike audience of people who have bought maybe cow necklaces from us over the years. So that's another great thing. We can have the asset audience there. You could take all the cow buyers. You could take anyone on that fan page and create the lookalike for that. So there's a lot of wiggle room that you can give yourself if you create an asset. So a lot of people will talk about, well, should I spend money on likes to create a fan page? If you're creating a good content base, then I have no issue with you spending your first $2,000-$3,000 on a niche that you know you're going to dive into on the fan page and the audience and growing that asset. Because again, like you're seeing here, we could use custom audiences. Let's see, do we have cow buyer custom audience on here? Well, we don't have one created here, but we could create it pretty easily and it would update dynamically. Okay, so let's go ahead. Our age group here, we know that cows, the ideal age group is 30 or yes, 35 to 54-year-old women. Now, lately, like I said earlier, broad has been working better for me. So I go for the extent of the range that I consider a buyer group. 18 to 24, I consider that a special buyer group for certain niches. 25 to 65 plus is kind of the extent of adult buyer range customer in my mind. Now still, I'm going to go probably just women. We will go with the interest of cattle and try that one out. Now, like I said, we typically like to start out with a few different angles, so I'm going to go with the large interest of cattle. Then I'm going to grab all of the old dialed interests we used to use and group them together into one, and then exclude cattle so that we can, not overlap there and just kind of test different pockets of what's going on. Now I'm going to turn off our expand interests because that's not going to help our testing. Now with that, we're at 6.2 million. Pretty good. United States. Another great thing about having an asset like a fan page is you can use connections as well. So you can do friends of people who like your page. That really works well with some PPE ads and such. Our placements now. On our opening ad, again, we're going with our best estimate. I turn off Instagram, Audience Network. Now, we used to only do mobile only, but recently I've been thinking mobile and desktop newsfeed is a good place to start because Facebook will stop showing whichever feed isn't getting much engagement. But if desktop, when you look at your Google Analytics stats over time, you see that desktop users, even though it's a very small portion of what you're maybe getting if you're only doing Facebook advertising, they do stay on your site for a very long time and they convert pretty well. They buy a lot. So it's almost worth it on the lifetime value of a customer that's created from a desktop, just to include it in your testing here even. We always add it in when we're doing our scaling and our foundation, trying and testing different angles out, but that's where I'm liking to start right now. Now I'm going $50 a day budgets. Starting time, it's 10 a.m. right now. So anywhere in between like 6 a.m. to 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern or Central time zone. That's where I like to start my ads. And it's just, later in the day, Facebook will spend a lot of your money. And then if you start right at like midnight with auto bid ads, we're using auto bids ad here, obviously. Then you're going to hit traffic that really is not going to convert. No one's going to buy it from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. depending on the niche. So with the auto bids here, we start them anywhere from about 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern or Central time. So $50 a day. We're going to run continuously. Our conversion window, we're going to go 7-day click. You could do a 7-day click or 1-day view. Try that out. Doesn't really matter too much. Auto bid. Now, like I said, our time period of starting ads, that's going to be different with manual bids. And I'll explain that later in phase 3. Just kind of the time period because Facebook takes into account the entire day when you're doing these bidding wars. And I'll talk about that later. All right, so now we need to name this sucker. U.S. women 25 plus, cattle interest, just one interest. And we were going mobile, or we'll go purchase optimization, 7-day click, mobile, desktop, auto bid. Guess we don't need AB, we'll know what that is. All right, let's continue. We're gonna choose our existing post from our Cows Are Awesome page. Timeline photo, look, it's up to 55 engagements, 12 comments, 1 share, all organic there. Again, assets really help make this easier. You can grow a fan page for any animal out there, literally any animal. I've done it we have about 12 to 15 animal niches right now that consistently make money for us just because we have assets that continually promote stuff and whatever. All right, so looks good. Double check everything. Place order. going to duplicate this ad set. They've updated everything today. All right, we're going to duplicate this sucker. And I want to test out the select interests as well. The dialed interests. So we'll go dialed cow interests. Click copy 25 plus women. Looks good. Now, like I said, I want to. Where's my targeting? There we go. I want to exclude cattle folks. Alright, so we can include these. And it's just interest research done over a while. You can see also some other interests that are being suggested. Now I'm going to exclude cattle just to avoid any overlap here in testing the different audiences. That went from, I think it was like a couple mil to 640. So we'll go ahead and see what else is here. I need to update my list for sure. You can see all the new interests that have been created since I created that list. Let's go down the list. Everything looks right in line. Natural Dairy, Holstein World, Dairy Farm. There's the employers. We'll take out the employers' job titles. I guess we don't need those. We just want the interest. Gen X. Holstein, Select Sirens. These are all farm type cattle companies. Automatic agribusiness, accelerated gen. Alright, so we can take out the job titles. We can take out the employers. These are all interests. As we're up to I like to have it again, broader is better. So I want to start anywhere, 500,000 is about as low as I want. Ideally around $1 million to $2 million on a starting point. But if you can only get 860 is a good point. Because if you're getting too low, then $50 a day might be too much budget to start off with. So if we get below 500,000 total potential reach audience, then at 400,000 I'd probably start the ad at $40 or $35 budget a day. At 200,000 then I'd be at the $25 a day budget. Just because we don't want to burn through the entire audience and give Facebook too much spread on who they're going to be showing to in the beginning, just so that we have a little bit better chance to convert. This first testing phase is all best estimate guesses. 860 looks pretty good. All right. All right, look at these. Jesus Daily. Now, what I'm doing with the Christian niche, the idea we got here is I saw we got these gear bubble necklaces that popped up. So it's a new product type that has a lot of high perceived values. So you can do a lot of different type of products, different type of niches. And the whole idea that I'm going to be following through here, and instead of just on the webinar here, I'll show you guys in a video later. I don't want to take up too much time on phase one. But what I'm doing here is I got a designer come in and create all these little circular designs. And you can see we have some edits we could do. We could make this text a little bigger. We could close this a little bit to make it tighter, maybe make that thicker. But these are going to be great. I'm putting them in one collection where we have a whole bunch of them. This is all the ones we've had done. And we'll put it into one collection where I'll advertise that collection on its own there, just to get the whole Christian base in there. Then we're going to be adding Bible verses as we go, so everyone will have their favorite that they can choose from. Right now, I just kind of chose the top 20 most popular ones I searched out there, most quoted ones and memed Bible verses, and put them on these necklaces. And what I'm going to do is going to do some audience research here, finding, just kind of using audience insights, looking at all these, Faith Family America, all these different possible broad interests again, and throwing a lot on the wall. And what we're going to do, instead of just at first, we won't be advertising just each individual one, but what we'll do is we'll advertise the entire collection. And on the back end, we can retarget people that land on individual sales pages. So if they come into the collection on our 19th store of all 20 of these, and they see their their favorite Bible verse, they go to Philippians 4:6 here. Well, when we're on that sales page, we create that custom audience of people who land there, and that is a retargeting ad that we can go directly to them, and that's what I'll show you guys in a later video of this. So that's the whole plan there. That'll do very well as long as we get them liking the style and the designs, and we have everyone's options in place. We should be able to close those pretty great. All right, so that is pretty much phase one. There's not much different there. You saw how we set up the ad. Now we're just going to wait. I'll report on that later. Post that on the page here of how those initial ads went there. And then again, like I said, I'll put together a little video of how we're doing this Christian niche. Now, let's go ahead and dive into the foundation, the phase two of the plan. And we're going to dive into kind of what happens here is, I guess we'll look at here in a second. But once a phase one product is winning and we want to spend some time, we know it's going to be a moneymaker, then we move on to phase two. Now, what happens is when we're launching a whole bunch of products on a store like 19th, a general store, and we're launching 5-10 products a day, for example, then we're expecting about 10% of them probably to make money, 20 to 30% of them to break even, 50 to 60% of them to lose money, and then out of the 10% that's going to make you money, you're going to have about 1% or 10% of those that are going to make you pretty good money. They're going to clean up all the mess that was, lost throughout. So it's really a launching game on that business. Now, if you have a very niche specific and you have assets and you have a small product base, your plan isn't to launch a whole bunch of products or whatnot, then you're just looking for those angles. You're looking to connect with that viewer more. You're looking for the sales page and the copy and the branding and the authority to do more of the work than the Facebook ad itself. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into phase two, where we're going to be diving into the foundation. All right, I think we're good. What's up, guys? I guess you can probably see me there, hopefully. I'm on the screen. All right, so phase two of our advertising comes down to the foundation. What happened in phase one is we found our winner, and we really know we want to invest some time into it. If it's not producing huge sales in our phase one, then we might keep it in play. We might keep advertising going. It's just kind of bringing in drip sales here and there. But a lot of these, if you're going to continue testing different angles, trying to find something that's going to take off. But then when you find that product or that angle, that advertisement that takes off for you, that's when you really want to move into phase two and start putting some focus into it. Again, I follow the 80-20 rule much of the time, so this is just kind of following that. For those 20% that really are worth putting time into and making us money, we're going to put 80% of our effort here. So here's the 4 things that are really happening in phase two. We have, first off, we're taking, as you saw in phase one, it was just that image post that we're testing. Well, if we can create a quality video post, that would be ideal, because then we have another ad type, we have another creative type, we have a lot of things working together where it's not just images. Video right now is working really great with Facebook. It has all of 2016, really even still today working, and going to be in the far future, it seems like. So video ads are very important. If the product doesn't fit with the video ad, then that's okay. You can have easy slideshows. I'm going to show you guys a few example good videos. If you have a demonstration product, something that's everyday use, something people use, then video ads are ideal. Then we also have the email system. I like to set up a back-end email system that's just kind of a template for any buyer that comes into my store. But then, or it might be niche specific, it might be brand specific, whatever it may be. But then if we have a winning product that moves to phase 2, what we do is we create a email back-end system that's just for that product. So anyone who buys just that product, they're going to have specific emails going that's going to upsell, cross-sell, kind of get them into our main staple product in the back end. Now, each of these emails have a tracking link in them so that we can tag people, we can know what action they've taken, and we have retargeting ads that hit them and advertise to them and reformat that idea that we're having. Next off, we have dynamic product ads starting. This is really starting right away with any new store going on. So these are just kind of going all the time, and we'll be talking a lot about those. Now, on top of dynamic product ads, which do dynamic retargeting, we're also doing our standard manual retargeting as well. So for our single products or campaigns that are really taking off, then we'll set up a whole retargeting campaign for that. So let's go through these 4 scenarios, and we'll show you a little bit. First off, we'll talk about the video ads. This is kind of how we're going in. Video ads are very effective because of the custom audiences, the lookalikes, and the reach that it really creates. There's huge engagement on video. If you have a really engaging video, you can get millions and millions of views and have that traffic kind of dripping in organically, as well as the advertising you're creating. Now, our video post wants to get the idea of the product across, as well as have like a call to action getting them in. But really what's going to be the most effective is the custom audiences created from this and the steps we take after. As with all of my Facebook advertising strategies, it's more the step after that's making me most of the money and cleaning up the problems that might be happening on the front end. If we have a front end that really starts converting and doing really well, then it only makes the back end, the cleanup stages, even more effective. So there's 3 really main audiences, and every video, every niche, every type of campaign might have a little bit of sway, might be a little different, but this is how we've been doing it, kind of a template stance. We have the initial video post that's getting people in. We're looking for that video to be at a good video view cost. So we want to be spending about a penny or under a penny per video view, if possible, on these video posts. Now, if that video is converting sales, that's a different question depending on the audience we're targeting, but really we're trying to get this initial video to get as much engagement as possible, get people that are going to hit our 3 custom audiences. So we are dialing in our traffic and again doing broad, like I talked before. We are focused in on the industry, not just hitting everyone in the world, but we are more worried about the custom audiences it's creating. So the first custom audience is people who watch under 25% of the video. Let's say your video is a minute long, they're watching under 20 seconds, under 15 seconds or whatnot. So if they're watching less than 25% of the video, they're probably not interested in that post. We might have another dynamic product ad that hits them because they watched it, but in most likely this case, we're going to promote a second product. If you only have one product in your store, then maybe a second angle, but we're pretty much completely taking the idea that we tried to hook them on this initial video and trying something else. So if it's the farm store and a cow product, they don't like our cow shoes, then maybe we'll try and sell them a cow shirt here on the video post too, whatever it may be. Or if it's the same product, like I said, a new angle. So this hook 1 didn't work, try hook 2 that product offers, the benefit. So that's people who watch less than 25% of the video. Now people who watch 25 to 75% of the video, they have a small level of interest. They're kind of invested into that. So we have 2 ads that are going into place here. One, we're showing them a collection ad, so it could be a collection video, and it's showing an assortment of all the products going on here. We might also show this ad to the under 25% watch sometimes. So where's my pen? I'll add that here. So maybe this would be good too. But anyways, This group is watching a collection video ad, getting other products in their assortment, trying to get bundle ideas, as you'll see in the retargeting ads I talk in a bit. We're trying to get bundle packages, get our lifetime value up, getting people back in the door. And then we also retarget them with a image retargeting ad. So that same type of ad we had in the initial testing phase, from the video, this would be just a direct retargeting offer in place here. Now, for the people who watch over 75% of the video, they're highly invested. They're the most, likely people to engage again. We again are doing the retargeting image ad, and I'm also offering them a discount offer, really trying to get them back in the door. Now, again, like I said, these are 3 custom audiences. Those are all custom audiences, and custom audiences can be turned into lookalikes. So that expands our reach, gives us people who are likely to watch 75% of the video as well. So this is kind of a never-ending process you can get with your quality video ads. That's why you see them getting the millions and millions of views, and then organically they just spread like wildfire. So a video post for your ad is something that's working very well. Again, it doesn't have to be some high-quality professional shot video. It can be a slideshow created online with ScreenFlow, with Camtasia, with Animoto. All of those simple programs anyone can use will show you, be able to create a good video. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into our dynamic product ads and our retargeting for this phase. All right, so now our dynamic product ads, like I said, these are always running all the time, kind of going through, and they work dynamically. So people who engage, interact, do whatever on your site, these ads are going to change appropriately to kind of show them the right product, show them the right ad, and everything like that. We still obviously have to set up, systems to make it work for us. And test different things out, and I'll show you. You can see this as a few examples of some dynamic product ads we've been running, testing out. You can see the different per purchase. This one that's working the best, getting about $6.90 per purchase, is our all products catalog. Now, if you haven't done dynamic product ads yet, go check out my Like a Boss training on Kingpinning. It's a free training. Show you how to set all this up, and it sets up product catalogs. Now, these days, I'm using the app Trackify to make all my pixel and catalog and custom audience stuff very simple. It tracks everything very well, and we usually do dynamic product ads. You can do it to where it's dynamically showing all your product catalogs. We have had it separated into different types of products, so hoodies. It was dynamically showing anyone who'd go see hoodies. It would show them all the other hoodies we have shown. Coffee mugs, you can see kind of the prices going there. Trying different interest groups going with dynamic products. That never worked really well for us on this test. We did pillows, we're doing well. But our 2 main ones that we typically run are the 7-day view and add to cart with no purchase, and the 30-day view and add to cart with no purchase. So it looks like this. When you're setting up your ad, you'll choose a product catalog ad, and going through, you're going to be able to choose obviously your placement. Now with dynamic product ads, I am selecting all placements, just letting it do its thing. Typically, automatic, I guess here I have some selected. Let's see. I guess I selected them all. Yeah, they're all selected. And I just let Facebook do its thing. We'll look at the stats here, and we can see how this one did for us. Now, budgets here are a little bit lower because it's interacting with the audiences that you're growing. So if you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on ads and you're getting millions and millions of viewers and actions and event fires, then your audiences might be bigger to work with. This store here, the farm store, we're doing about a 50 to 100,000 per month on a regular kind of consistent basis. And so all of our dynamic product ads are about the $20 to $50 range. We bump them up as we go, but I keep them on kind of a drip status. Now the audience we're choosing, like I said, this is the 7-day. Now you can play around with these ranges all you want. You can do custom where you have it 7-day view, but haven't purchased in 15 days. Try different things out at all times, but I'm going viewed or added to cart, but not purchased in the last 7 days. Very standard, very basic kind of direct retargeting ad. Cool thing about dynamic product ads, it's not only going to show that individual ad, that product that they saw, but it's going to show related products and things that are going to fit with what they've taken action with. And that's really the power of dynamic product ads. And if you're just starting, I like to start these dynamic product ads on day 1 of any store. and you're not going to probably see much great effect from them until you have consistent traffic coming. It takes data to make these work, but over time you can see that this one here, we spent during the month or whatever, 1,500 and made almost 10,000. And that was only the month of March when we ran this campaign. So we have a 7-day and a 30-day as our typical running. Again, you can split that down into individual product types. You can try these upsells, cross-sells, different things like that, whatever Facebook kind of likes. We're doing also purchase event optimization and a 1-day click effect for these 7 days, because right here it's trying to get them to buy quickly. So we're trying to get those conversions to happen quickly, and that's just kind of our conversion window we're telling Facebook. We can see kind of the performance here, break it down. I guess we had a few running there in October, November, but I thought it was only March. All right, then we have the demographics. We can see this one is mostly women, 86%. 94% of our sales from Facebook ads are women on this dynamic product ad. And in a placement, we did all placements, but you can see we've only had one purchase there on our audience network. Most have come from the Facebook placements, a few from Instagram, nothing on Messenger. That was not available when I first started this one. So that is our dynamic product ads. Again, these are things you can test out, try different test ranges. The whole thing with dynamic product ads, I have these going at all times while we're doing the individual product retargeting, which we'll jump into right now. So this is cleaning up the traffic on anything coming through, all those maintenance products, all those products that don't convert, all those things that aren't really producing huge for you, and those that are, this will come in and clean up what's left, what has potential to convert for your store. The more products, the more brand authority, the more angles you have here, the better the dynamic product ads are going to do for you. All right, now we can look at what the ad itself looks like. We're using a carousel ad, so we're creating this catalog dynamic product ad. We're choosing the ad with multiple images in a carousel, and this will fill dynamically. We just added this product, so this is just showing kind of new products. You can see a few others that are kind of, if we could scroll there. But you can see our message. What we're doing in this is we're adding a incentive for them to come back and buy. So we're giving them a 10% discount code they can use, Booyah Boo, when they sign up. Now, actually, a small percentage of people who actually come back and purchase through this ad are going to use that coupon code. It's really kind of strange. But it does close them, and it does get the attention of people that are going to buy anyways. Now you can see we have dynamic pieces in place here. Our headline is just a product name, so it's automatically filling the product name. And you can do that by clicking the plus sign here, add product catalog field, name, brand, description, short description, price, custom labels. So these are all things that you can have in your catalog. I'm using Trackify, like I mentioned again, that has the catalog set up for us, makes it very easy, but you can manually create any catalogs out there to have a bunch of different pieces that can be included. Now you can see in our newsfeed link description, I'm saying buy yours now for only, and then I have the product price, and it shows up, buy yours now for only $39.95. So, and that's us. So that's what the dynamic product ad looks like. You can, again, the demographics, what's going on. This is going on at all times. So this kind of leads us into our retargeting ads, which we're going to be talking about for each individual product that is becoming a success, moving on to the scaling phase. As you can see, all these pieces we've set up, we've really put in a foundation. We have a quality video ad post and more content that's going to give us opportunities for this phase 3 scaling. We have the email system in place that's going to clean up all the buyers and increase the lifetime value of anyone who actually does convert on our opening advertisements. We have the dynamic product ads, which are cleaning up all the people who aren't buying and aren't interacting and don't like the product we have, or maybe like it but want other things as well. And then now we're going to jump into the retargeting, the individual retargeting, which makes sure that those people that come in and are interested in our main scaling product here are going to buy. So that's really the foundation of what we're putting together. So let's go ahead and dive into the retargeting. All All right, so here is pretty much, and again, all these things kind of change often. So this is what kind of a basic template of how we're going about retargeting on the individual product level when something starts having success. Now, we separate our audiences into 3 different levels. We have people who have viewed the product, people who have added the product to cart, or people who have purchased the product. These are 3 separate custom audiences. Again, go check out the Like a Boss free training on custom audiences. You'll see how I create all those with Trackify installed. It makes it very simple with content IDs and all that good stuff. But pretty much what we're doing here, and again, we can make a time level, so times zone. So if it's someone who has taken one of these actions in 1 to 7 days from now, we can record that. And then the different audience for people who have done it 30 days from now or whatnot. So that's something that you want to keep in mind when you're creating your audiences. So here is pretty much how our audiences go. We have people who have viewed content. That's a pixel action there. That they have a certain set of actions that are going to happen, certain set of retargeting ads they're going to see. People who have added to cart, certain set of actions. People who have purchased, certain set of actions. This all depends on what products you have out there, what products you're going to have coming. If you have a staple main product, so you can change what you're going to offer in all these. But this is kind of, I'm taking into mind how I'm going about just like a normal e-commerce store that's launching several products, like a 19th, a print on demand, or anything like that. So just the idea is we're trying to hit every hook possible and give every opportunity for traffic that we've already spent a lot of money and work on gathering into a custom audience and turning them over into an actual customer, because that's kind of the best cost for our acquisition by doing that. So our view content audience, we kind of pretty much break it down into 2 groups. Again, we sometimes will go much more involved and have it maybe every 3 days, something will change. And then you can have it to certain actions. So if you have people going to certain pages on your website, if it's a content page or a second product sales page, you can have those actions combined, cause other streams of retargeting ads go off. So if someone has visited page A and they've added the cart page B or product B, then some other funnel can start. So those are even more intricate ways you can go about it. But right here we have it broken down into 2 separate groups. The first 7 days after someone has taken one of these actions, and then the next 2-3 weeks after. So the first 30 days are really retargeting each individual product action taker here. So for our view content, we're doing a straight up retargeting post, just pretty much showing them the same posts that they saw already, or showing them a different simple variation. Could be a video, could be another image, a different image, and again, could be the same thing. Also here we start off by showing a collection ad, usually a video that's like a slideshow and it shows a bunch of different products in that niche and other things they might like, because since they're just a view content, they didn't add the cart, they're interested probably in that niche or that industry of products, so maybe they'll like something else that's related. So that's kind of the mentality going there. The image retargeting post, they've only viewed the content, so they haven't really earned any discount at this point. We're pretty much just trying to close them at full price by getting them in the door. Now, after the first week, the 8 to 30 days retargeting ad that's going on is where they haven't added the cart or bought or any taken action like that yet. So we're trying to entice them even further by offering them a 10% discount. And this is just a normal image post, usually the same image that they saw, maybe a different image of the same product, but that includes that 10% discount hook. So hopefully the discount can hook them, get them in the door. And again, it's only a 10% discount, so it's not anything huge. They haven't taken any huge action to show huge interest. They have visited the sales page, but that doesn't really say much if they haven't added the cart and obviously purchased. So we're only going to go as far as a 10% discount, and then really focus on getting them to other related products. So we had the collection ad go off on the first week. What we can do from there is we combine combine the people who have taken action on not only the original product one view content, but maybe they viewed whichever other product collection out there. So you could do things like bundle offers here that work really well, giving them a good deal, but also selling 2-3 products at once. Any other related product that really fits in there, but you can use that collection ad data that you've seen to really dial it in to show the actual related product that they went through on the collection ad. So that's what's happening with view contents. Now, if they come through at any point and they add the product to the cart and they don't purchase, then these other retargeting funnels start to spark off and these ads will start. Now, for the add to cart custom audience, in the first 1 to 7 days, we have a little bit more interest in the product. So with our retargeting posts, the same image or related image, we're going to offer the 10% discount in this first week for our add to cart audience. Just because they have that little bit more interest, we're really trying to close them as soon as possible and get them going. Now, on top of this, we're also doing the same effect that we were doing with the view content. We're showing them the collection ad, which is usually kind of video slide share, but then we're also showing them the related product posts right now. Figured might as well strike the iron while it's hot and get them closed ASAP. 10% discount on the original product they saw, showing them other specific products that are going to fit, and then the collection ad as well. Just kind of getting our brand out there. We saw that they have huge interest by adding the cart, so there's only one or maybe a small factor that's holding them from buying the product, and that's what we're trying to overcome in that first 1 to 7 days. Then the next few weeks, we go into a little bit more of a discount offer. For that original product, we're showing them a free shipping retargeting post. So it's the same product image or a video or something, but it's offering them free shipping. Now, free shipping is typically the best promotion that you can do. That's in my experience, we've had the best success by offering free shipping on a post. So a 10% discount is pretty good, but then you offer free shipping, even if free shipping is less money off than 10%, people like that free shipping. Now, if you're offering free shipping on all your products or whatever on your store already, then maybe something else that's maybe 50% off or something huge, a big enticement to get them in the door. And really, we're going to count on the back end and the product retargeting funnels to close them into a higher lifetime value. And then also we're showing the other related products that they've shown interest in with 10% discounts as well. So again, adding our lifetime value, trying to get bulk orders, bundle packs, and sell that original product they've shown a lot of interest in. Now, if they go along any of the time and purchase the product, then they're added to the purchase custom audience. And pretty much from here, they are removed from any targeting, any retargeting, any ads that have to do that with that product they already bought, unless it is a consumable product. If it's something that they'll buy over and over again and they might need regularly, then definitely continue promoting that individual product. But in our case, apparel and things like that, usually not going to need that. So we are now promoting our other related products. And typically, like I've been talking about a lot lately on Kingpinning and in this webinar, is our staple product on the back end. This is where we shift our focus from trying to make the initial sale and improve and get them to like us, to really show them what we're worth, showing what they really will like, and that main product is going to make us our money. Now, here we have the collection ads that show them our thing. We're offering some big discount. Again, in this case, it might be free shipping to the collection, any product in the collection ad, free shipping to any related product, individual products going there. And pretty much what's happening in the first 7 days, since most of our products are print on demand or whatever it may be, if they order very quickly, we can typically ship out both products and both orders in one shipment, which cuts our shipping costs away anyway. So offering that free shipping to them doesn't actually take anything away from our margins, but still keeps that marketing and that sales hook in their subconscious going. Now, from day 8 to 30 and pretty much any point after on our retargeting to our purchase audience, we are sending them to new funnels. Sending them to new funnels that you see here that start over, new related products, and again, like I said, our main offer, our main staple product, which is in place. So that is all the pieces that are going on with our phase 2 foundation. When we find a product that works and we want to send a lot of traffic to it, we want to scale, we put these pieces in play so that we make the best from our efforts. We're not just worrying about Facebook ads on that front end to make us money, but now we have the retargeting cleaning up, we have the dynamic product ads making us money, we have the email systems increasing that lifetime value, and the video ads making us a brand authority. So guys, let's go ahead and hop into phase 3, which I'm sure many of you guys are most interested in, the scaling side of it. And we'll talk about kind of after we find the winner, after we create this foundation, what are the steps that we take to scaling and getting manual bid in play. All right, the scaling process. Now, we've gone through phase 1 where we're testing, really throwing a lot out there, looking at different angles, going about our best estimates, our best guesses to start. And that's going to let us know, do we move forward with phase 2, where we're creating that foundation. And then phase 3 here is when we're really just trying to expand our reach as far and wide as possible while still keeping that profit in place. Now, as you scale and the more reach you get, naturally the ROI is going to drop. So maybe the overall percentage of turnaround is going to be worse as you get bigger, but overall profits is what you're really looking at. So here is our system that we're going to follow through with scaling. We have that initial starting ad that we started out when we're starting with a website conversion, broad targeting interest, or maybe those dialed interests all bundled together, $50 a day. Now, if that starts really working, that phase 2 foundation's put into place. We have retargeting gets going. That's part of phase 2 right there, right away. We have the email systems in place with the retargeting, the dynamic product ads like I just talked about. And from here, we're going to be bumping this ad set as much as we can. This is an auto bid ad set. All of these starting are really auto bids to start off with, but these are $50 a day starting. And we let it run about 3 or 4 days, and every 3 or 4 days I'm bumping 15 to 20%. So $50 goes up to about $60 on the bump, maybe 3-4 days later if it's going, and we really get up to about $150 a day. Now at that point, what we're seeing is auto bid ads. As I mentioned a little bit earlier in this webinar, they are capping out at about $100 or $150. So from that, we're creating our manual bidding ads. Now we're just really duplicating at the beginning the winning ad sets for us, creating manual bid ads around them, keeping our auto bids running and continually launching new ones, but having the manual bids go along so we can control that traffic and scale a little bit bigger, as I'll show you. Now, along with what's going on here, we'll go ahead and create our focus funnels. So we'll create a video campaign like I talked about just a minute ago. You can also maybe do a lead generation campaign. So people that do maybe free plus shipping, you'll do a free plus shipping to get them into a lead system that you can sell this product, this hot product, this scaled product that you want to do. You can even maybe offer it as free plus shipping gift offer if you have a lead gen system, depending on the product you're selling here. So those are something that go into play when you're scaling. Then we're going to also start, obviously, new angles. So that's going to be the same starting test ads that go up, but we're trying all different interest types, trying related markets, we're trying connections to our fan pages and our assets we have. And then obviously as you're building more and more data, we're going to be doing lookalikes. So lookalikes are very important, always to throw into play. They also become very handy in our manual bidding ads, because we'll often do a duplicate of our winning interest-based ad, but then we'll start maybe some lookalikes with a manual bid ad, just because they're very broad audiences. Manual bid works very well with huge audiences. So if you have a reach of 3 million plus, a manual bid ad can really work through that a little bit better than some auto bid ads that have trouble going with very large audiences, especially if you're talking 10, 20, 50 million reach. And then obviously also we want to start our new ad type. So try PPE ads, try click the website ads, try more video ads, along with the video campaigns and structure and everything. So all of this is going on. You want to continually be launching new ads to keep this going, see what's working, what's not, the same type of Pareto's Law rule that I've always applied to this stuff. But these are all the options we have, and really all of them should be going on at the same time as you're growing and growing this this scale. So let's go ahead and hop into an example, something we started in March that really started to take off for us, and this is where I really started to have my first successes with manual bid, and it's really cemented what I do now with my manual bidding ads, and hopefully it can help show you guys exactly the adjustments I made to make it work. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and set up before I show you the kind of past example. I'm going to go through and set up a manual bid ad just so that you can see exactly everything and point out some main factors of why we're making those decisions. Now again, we've had a successful auto bid, website conversion ad at this point. We have a successful product. We know that manual bidding is worth investing some time into. Now, manual bidding, from my experience so far, has been very much a data game. You need to give Facebook lots of data, and it costs money. It takes a little bit, the way I've been doing it, it takes a little bit of invested money on each ad set before it starts to turn around and become something that's more appealing. And it's costs a lot of money to get things going, and it costs a lot of money to find out if it's going to work or not on certain ad sets. So that's just something to keep in mind going forward when you really want to scale. Manual bidding is a great way to do that. The way I do it puts a lot of investment in. Some other people have different systems and methods out there that can kind of slowly grow, and I'll show you a few of those as well later. Let's go ahead and talk about, or just set this up. So we're going to create a website conversion campaign. We'd usually do it right in the same campaign. This is from an old account that we were doing back in March. We don't have it, or back in early this year, and we're starting up again. I want to start a new manual bid ad on it. This will be Pig face shoes to WC. So we're selling some shoes with pig faces on them. Now, again, same rules apply for the optimization type. Now, I'm typically going all purchase. I'll go sometimes add to cart, test them out. Again, same type of mentality going as far as how do I scale, what types of optimization and targeting do I test out on this. We go with the best estimate first, so we know what's worked on the auto bid. That's our best estimate. The purchase optimization, since we're trying to send more traffic in than on the auto bid, we're going to want to hopefully have that many purchases and pixel events going. This is very important for the manual bid, is that you want to get enough event fires to happen. So we're really trying to get a lot of purchase fires to happen if I'm optimizing towards purchase. If I'm going to optimize towards add to cart, then I want to have a lot of add to cart purchase fires to happen. This will also determine our bid. So looking at our auto bid, you want to see how much are you spending, how much is it costing you per conversion, and that's going to give you kind of a starting point of where you want your conversion points to be. Now, keep in mind, the amount we bid on a manual bid ad doesn't really have anything to do with what the actual conversion cost will end up. The bid we're doing only really determines the auction that you're going against your competitors, the other marketers out there. Then with the traffic that you win from those auction bids, what they do, the actions they take, and so on, that is really what determines your cost per conversion. So we're going to go with a purchase optimization here. That means I want at least 25 purchase pixel fires to happen within the optimization period. I'm going to choose. I'm going to go with, we'll just scroll down here, conversion optimization. I like that. Yes, conversion. 7-day click. I'm going to go 7-day click, 1-day view. Nothing in particular. Here's our manual bid. All right, since we're optimizing towards purchase, we're always going to go with a max bid too. So why we're choosing manual bidding over auto bidding is so that we have complete control. Auto bid allows Facebook to do its thing all the way. Manual bid puts us in control, and we want to have control in every aspect possible so that we are able to know more linearly what's going on. You're going to be able to see, well, if this happens, well, then this is why it's happened. The more control you have over every aspect, the more you'll be able to see that. So we want to have a maximum bid, because if you choose average, it's only going to take the average of your manual bid, the amount you bid, which isn't control. That's still giving Facebook wiggle room. So we're choosing a maximum bid. Now, again, like I said on the bid strategies, there's a few different ways to go about that. One, you can start out high and try and win all the traffic. You're trying to get pixels to fire on this ad set so that Facebook sees that people like it, it's getting engagement, all that type of stuff. And then what you're going to do with your bid is you'll start to work it down so that you're only hitting that range of people during the day that is going to convert for you and get your cost at a better range. Now that takes a lot. That's the strategy I've been using, and it takes a lot of money invested in the front. I'm usually seeing of the first $500, we're breaking even or even losing money, and then after the next 500 to 1,000, we are getting into where we're profiting and we're actually have really great CPMs and costs across the board. And then from that point on, we're able to really control a healthy stream of sales coming in. So that's one strategy. Now, the other strategy is to bid very low and start to creep your traffic in. Now, I've never had very much success with that myself, but maybe that's because I mostly do purchase optimization ads. That might work better on lower bid ranges like an add to cart or a view content. In this case, we're doing the purchase bid though. So we want to win out all our purchase bids. We're selling shoes here, which is a $70 product. We get about a $40 profit margin on them. So we have about $30 to $40 spend room per purchase that we can have. And on the traffic side, with that in mind, I never really take a look at suggested either, just to note that. But what I want to do is I want to bid a little high. So we're going to bid pretty high. This is really on the high range, $55 per purchase. So what this will do is it will win out all the auctions out there throughout all the competitors. So we're going to be pretty much in the beginning stages treating this ad like an auto bid. We're bidding high enough so that Facebook is winning all the auctions like it would on an auto bid, and we're giving this ad set and Facebook data. Getting the pixel fires. Again, we want to hit 25 pixel fires within our conversion window period. So within 7 days, we need 25 conversion pixel fires to happen on this ad set for it to really be effective. Now, we're going with a daily budget of $1,000 on this. Now, the bid, don't let this scare you off. Again, remember, we're getting capped out at about $100 to $150 a day budget on our auto bids. So what we do with the manual bid is we set our budget at $1,000 per day. So that gives us the opportunity to spend $1,000 a day if we want. Now, our bid amount is going to determine how much of that traffic of those auctions we win. So if we're bidding at the maximum, we're going to spend $1,000 a day. So right now at the point I'm at, I'm probably at the rate where I could spend $1,000 a day. But again, we want to start high, work our way down. So what we're going to get to, what the goal is to be spending about 20-25% of your daily budget on a controlled manner. So that's where I'm trying to get to, where I'm spending $200 to $250 a day, making a quality ROI. And the first few days here, I'm bidding high and working my way down. Now, let's go ahead and placements. We're going with the same type of thought, turning off Instagram, audience network, and right column. Keeping on, and instant articles too, we're keeping on our mobile and our desktop news feed, just a normal placement, works really well. Now our targeting, we're turning off our expand interest, and we're going with our whatever your initial ad set that worked for you, that's what you want to go with. I'm going pig. Now, before, if we dialed it in to certain age group or whatnot, if it was 25 to 65 plus, now I'll just keep it 18 to 65 plus. And even these days, I'm keeping it open on gender as well. So we're just going all genders, 18 to 65 plus, interest of pig. We have a potential reach of 7 million there. Just double checking everything. Looks pretty good. Now, right now, it is later in the afternoon, and with the manual bidding, like an auto bid, we gave a suggestion that you can start it from anywhere from like 6 a.m. to about 4 p.m. Eastern time. And so with a manual bid, it works a little differently because like I was just talking about with your bid amounts and you're bidding on auctions and you have your daily budget, giving Facebook an idea of how much you want to spend in a day. Well, if you're starting, kind of how Facebook does it with a manual bid is if you are not winning any traffic or you don't start your ad until, let's say, 2 p.m. today, and you have it $1,000 a day budget, and you have the maximum bid set at a very high amount, going to win all the auctions, Facebook's going to try and catch up as quickly as possible to that $1,000 day mark. So you might spend a couple $100 very quickly if you start your ad later in the day, winning at a bid amount, winning all the auctions. So you have to be very careful with that. With a manual bid ad, I like to actually start these on the following day on midnight, overnight. So, and you can even maybe as late as 6 a.m. as well. So for this one, since I'm bidding very high, I'll go ahead and start it at 6 a.m. And then the end date doesn't really matter. We'll change it later to make sure it doesn't have a continuous end date. So 55, suggested bid 30. We're pretty good there. 6 a.m. tomorrow. All right, so that'll get us started off right, because there's a few things you'll see in the next piece. I'll show you guys of some ad sets and some manual bids that have worked for us, the campaigns. We have peak periods of the day that really a lot of traffic comes in. You're going to have competitors bidding a little higher, so you're going to have to raise your bids up. And then right after those peak periods, you're going to have lulls where competitors stop bidding high, and you're going to have to drop your bids back down so you're not out winning every traffic auction and only getting the good ones. So this is much like day trading. When you think about it, you're going to have to come in throughout the day, especially early on in every campaign, the first few days, and in the peak periods, adjust those bids throughout the day until you find your sweet spots that you can move on long term. Now, every ad set still needs to be managed on a daily basis, really from this point on if you're going to do manual bidding, but it does allow you again to go much higher and to have much better cost. So we're going to go ahead, 18 plus, big interest, purchase, 7-day, click, 1-day, view, mobile desktop, manual bidding. All right, let's see where we are. I think we're pretty good. Okay, so we're going to use the existing post. Again, the same post that we would use on the initial test. You can go there, or you have your new video that you would create, the new video campaign. This is kind of just an older post that's done well for us. We can go with the sneaker post, or we have some high tops made too. $9,000. See, that's a good one. We'll try that one. All right. Looks good. All right, so let's go ahead and start that one up. And we have to keep an eye on that tomorrow. We have it starting at 6 a.m., so I need to be recording the data every hour of the way, making adjustments, reviewing, everything like that that's kind of coming along. And let me kind of, where's that? Here we go. And here's an example of kind of how one of these campaigns have gone for us. This was the same pig shoes you're seeing here. We're just doing a different manual bid ad. Started there in March. For some reason, our Facebook cut off my stats from March 9th on. But this was where we started out, the first few days, the adjustments we made going throughout. Okay, so we started at 10:30 there, a.m. on March 19th. We had a very high bid. Looks like I started at 55 again. We had a little bit of traffic coming in. Looks like 2 hours, hour and a half. You can see every hour, hour and a half, 30 minutes, I'm making adjustments. Our peak periods are early in the morning. So you're going to have from about 6 a.m. till 11 a.m. or noon, you're going to have people coming online, traffic. There's a little small burst of traffic coming in. So we want to bid on a higher amount during those times. So we're winning out auctions, getting some traffic coming in, getting some conversions and some add to carts and some pixel fires. And then after noon, about 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. to 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., you're going to have a lull. People are at work. They're not buying things. They're not on social media, things like that. So you want to lower your bid during those periods so that you're not winning out on all the crap traffic. Just a little bit. You're kind of slightly moving. You're not wanting to make big jumps. Every time you adjust your bid, you need to wait at least 30 minutes and check and record those stats. Now from 5 p.m. till 11 p.m., you have the evening burst of traffic. Now this is when the costs are usually the highest, and you're going to have to bump up higher than usual to get more traffic coming in. Unless you have good engagement, you're beating out your traffic on all those factors. It's not, you got to keep in mind that Facebook doesn't just show your ad just because you're bidding highest and you have the bet you're winning out the auctions. You also have to have a good ad. You have to have something that people are engaging with and they enjoy and they're starting to really like. And that's what Facebook gives precedence to on the auctions. So this is why a common strategy is to be running a page post engagement ad alongside our manual bid website ad. It's the same post, same social proof going on. You just have a PPE ad that might not be converting in sales, or it might be a little bit here and there, but it's causing that engagement to be in Facebook's favor. Okay, so you have those peak periods. As you can see, the 19th there, we did just what we were talking about, started high, got some traffic coming in, bumped down from 1 to 5 p.m., then started bumping back up again to get some traffic. You can see also in the first couple of days here, this spreadsheet as well, you can find in the Kingpinning group under the file section. It's a free little Excel sheet I created for you guys. It has all these automatic Excel algorithms. But you can see we're in the negative all the way first day. This is the profit right here. End of the day one, looks like we're at about negative $80. Day two, we get to 118, negative 120. And then the next day on day three is when we start to really turn it around. Oh, excuse me, day three, yeah, we start to get to the right. We wake up on day three with a negative $142 on this campaign, but at the end of day three and the start of day four, we're at positive $30. And keep in mind, this is just from what the pixel tracks. It's really, seriously, the overall sales that a Facebook campaign will create is usually sometimes double or 3 times as many sales from the actual campaign. And that has a lot to do with the phase 2 that we put into play. Things that are just happening while everything we have going on is happening with it. So let me go ahead and we'll zoom in here. I mean, this campaign here in one month we did about 6 figures in sales on this one. Not just one ad set, but the entire campaign. And we're still running, as you saw, we got that going. So we have the bids going up, but what you can see, why I stuck around for the first 2-3 days, still, again, it was the whole overall campaign. This ad set was showing negative, but we were making money on the entire campaign. Overall profit is really always the main thing I look for. And sometimes ads will show, because the Facebook pixel might not fire 100% of the time, or maybe it's not having a direct profit relationship, but it has other effects. Sometimes it's just that you're spending money and getting eyeballs on your business will make you have more sales. And that really comes down, again, to your brand, your authority, the other pieces that we put in place with the foundation in phase 2. But what you can see that's going on that kept me around is we have add to cart costs. This is something I always pay attention to, is our add to cart costs. Sometimes you're going to have a manual bid ad start off in the perfect zone. It'll start off at like $3 add to carts, $2 add to carts, and you'll be crushing it right from the beginning. Now, a lot of times this is how most of my manual bid ads turn out, where we're starting out in the loss We're starting out, we have higher add to cart costs than we want. We really want these to be about $5, under 10 for sure. But we're at 21, then it's 14, 15, day one's all over the place. And then you can see day 2, we start to get a consistent drop as the traffic is optimizing. We're at $225 spent here about a day in. But you can see those costs continuing to drop, having some spikes at certain points of the day. That's usual. But again, like I said, at about the first $500, we're losing money. So we hit 500 spend here, and we're down 120. So the next 500 is the optimization period, which we can see here on day 3 or day 2. Let's say it's day 1, day 2, day 3. This is the next 500 to the period where you're spending 500 to 1,000 total, which we spent 500 total on day 3 here. It looks like, or close to it, 430. But that next 500 is where you're starting to optimize and get things working again. Now, this is where the retargeting or dynamic product guides might be kicking into play, or maybe just people coming back to the post, coming back to the advertisement, seeing it for a second time, clicking through the link and buying again. Whatever it may be, on day 3 here, the manual bid's starting to really kick in for us. Not only did our profit start to drop, went from 142 down to, by the end of the day, we were at 866 up. But you can see our bids were kind of we're adjusting a little bit. Now, the bid amounts are going to change every time. If you're selling shoes, or you're selling a t-shirt, you're not going to be bidding the same usually. It depends on the niche, depends on your competition, depends on the day. That's why I'm saying it's like day trading. You got to be on top of it every day, all the time, and seeing what's working for you. Sometimes the bid that you started with last week is not going to do much for you this week, or maybe it's going to win all the bids and you're going to have all the crap traffic coming in. So you want to make sure that you're always kind of checking out that stuff. But you can see the first $1,000 took this campaign about $1,000 to show on Facebook that we are making a profit. And then since that point, we've been up quite a bit on that one. I can't remember exacts, but that is an example breakdown of how we went through our bidding. So keep in mind the peaks. Understand that you're throttling traffic by moving the bid down. You're winning auctions, so you're causing the traffic to roll in when you increase those bids. And it's really about finding that sweet spot and, again, giving data. As you can see, 25 purchase pixel fires is what we want to have. That was in the time period, so we chose a 7-day click, I believe, for this one. 7-day click, yep. So we needed 25 pixel fires happen at 7 days. As you can see, this row is our our purchase fires. So it was at day 3 at 5 p.m. we hit 25, and at that point we were at negative 66. Over the next five hours there, it was sending much better traffic that got us to a positive. So I'm not saying that's going to happen every time when you hit that magic number. That really just kind of worked out perfectly with that one. But that's the concepts going at play and why we're using manual bidding with these ad sets. So guys, hopefully you understood exactly what's going on here. Please go ahead, feel free to post any questions. I'll go through a bunch that you have right now. And then, that's all the content we have for this one. Let's just hit a Q&A and we'll be finishing up.